Chapter 13 Ascension. The Call. The wind howled a mournful dirge, whipping through the skeletal remains of what was once a bustling city. Dust, the fine gray ash of a world consumed, swirled around Sarah and the remaining members of the Covenant, clinging to their tattered clothes like a shroud. Days had bled into weeks since the final confrontation with the shadowy organization, a battle that had left them victorious, but profoundly scarred. The world lay in ruins, a testament to the power of unchecked evil and the devastating consequences of rejecting God's grace. Yet, amidst the desolation, a fragile hope flickered, fueled by their unwavering faith and the promise of a new beginning. They had sought refuge in a secluded mountain valley, a haven far removed from the ravaged cities below. Here, amidst the stark beauty of nature's resilience, they found a quiet strength, drawing sustenance from their shared experiences and their unwavering belief in God's plan. They had spent countless hours poring over scriptures, seeking solace and guidance amidst the wreckage of their world. Each day brought a new struggle for survival, a constant battle against hunger, thirst, and the ever-present threat of disease. But their faith, like a sturdy oak in the face of a hurricane, remained unshaken. Their days were filled with prayer, the rhythm of supplication a comforting counterpoint to the chaos surrounding them. They shared stories of their past lives, of loved ones lost, and the miraculous events that had led them to this desolate haven. Each story was a testament to the unwavering presence of God, a constant reminder that even amidst destruction, His love endured. They supported each other, their shared faith binding them together in an unbreakable bond of love and support. Then it came, not as a thunderous announcement or a dazzling display of celestial light, but as a gentle whisper, a subtle shift in the very fabric of reality. It began as a feeling, a profound sense of peace that settled over them, an overwhelming sense of anticipation that surpassed any joy they had ever known. The air vibrated with an almost imperceptible hum, a celestial symphony inaudible to the ears, but felt deep within their souls. It was a feeling of being called, a longing that transcended the physical realm, a yearning for something beyond their comprehension. At first, they thought it might be a delusion, a hallucination born of exhaustion and despair. But as the feeling intensified, as the humming grew louder, they knew that something extraordinary was happening. Their hearts pounded in their chests, a mixture of fear and excitement coursing through their veins. Was this it? The rapture? The fulfillment of the ancient prophecy? Doubt, a familiar foe, crept into their minds, whispering insidious lies about their worthiness, their preparedness. But their faith, tempered by trials and strengthened by adversity, held firm. One by one, they experienced a profound shift in their senses. Colors became more vivid, sounds more profound, smells more invigorating. The world around them, though still scarred and broken, seemed to take on a new radiance, a renewed beauty that only heightened their awareness of the supernatural events unfolding. It was as if a veil had been lifted, revealing a new dimension of reality. Their physical bodies felt strangely lighter, as if they were being lifted from the earth, drawn upwards by an irresistible force. Simultaneously, an inexplicable energy filled the air, a divine power that simultaneously soothed and exhilarated. It felt as if every cell in their bodies was being purified, cleansed of all impurities, both physical and spiritual. The exhaustion that had plagued them for weeks vanished, replaced by an overwhelming surge of vitality. They felt younger, stronger, imbued with an almost superhuman energy. They looked at each other, their eyes mirroring the awe and wonder that filled their souls. This wasn't merely an ascension, it was a transformation. It wasn't just a change of location, it was a change of being. As their bodies underwent this incredible transformation, they experienced an intense feeling of love, a divine embrace that enveloped them in a wave of overwhelming peace. Their fears and doubts dissipated like mist in the morning sun, replaced by an unwavering certainty, a profound knowledge that they were exactly where they were meant to be. Then, a brilliant light enveloped them, blinding yet comforting, an illumination that transcended all earthly understanding. The light was a presence, a tangible manifestation of the divine, an embodiment of the love and grace they had always sought. It was the presence of Christ. They felt his love surround them, enfolding them in an embrace that promised eternal peace and security. And as the light consumed them, they felt themselves rising, leaving the earthly realm behind, ascending beyond the limitations of their physical forms. The ravaged world shrunk below them, a distant memory fading into insignificance. Their bodies, though transformed, were no longer confined by the constraints of flesh and blood. They soared through the heavens, leaving behind the dust and debris of a broken world. They were surrounded by a glorious chorus of angelic voices, their song a symphony of pure joy and unfathomable love. As they ascended, they saw others joining them, believers from all walks of life, united in their faith and their ascent to a new reality. A profound sense of unity filled their hearts, a shared understanding that transcended all earthly divisions. The experience was indescribable, a culmination of their lives, a divine reward for their faith, perseverance, and unwavering devotion to Christ. The suffering, the trials, the fears, all faded into insignificance as they entered the radiant presence of the Lord. Their ascension wasn't a mere physical departure, it was a spiritual rebirth, a transformation that transcended their earthly existence and ushered them into a new and glorious reality. They had survived the apocalypse, not merely by escaping the destruction, but by finding redemption in the very heart of the divine. They were home. Finally, they were home. The transformation. The blinding light intensified, a radiant wave washing over them, cleansing and purifying. Sarah felt a warmth spread through her, a warmth that transcended the physical, seeping deep into her soul, mending the wounds that years of struggle had inflicted. It wasn't merely the absence of pain, it was a positive, vibrant energy, a feeling of wholeness she had never known. Around her, the others of the covenant experienced the same metamorphosis. Their ragged clothes dissolved, replaced by shimmering, ethereal garments, woven from light itself. Their weary faces, etched with the hardships they had endured, softened, their eyes reflecting the boundless joy and peace that filled their hearts. This wasn't death. It was something far greater. It was a transcendence, a transition from mortality to immortality, from the ashes of a broken world to the glory of a celestial realm. The scars that had marked their bodies, reminders of battles fought and losses endured, faded, leaving behind skin that glowed with a soft, inner light. Their physical forms were refined, perfected, reflecting the purity of their faith. John, whose leg had been crippled in the final battle, stood tall, his gait as fluid and graceful as a dancer's. Martha, whose face had been marred by a shard of glass, now possessed features of exquisite beauty, reflecting the serenity within. The transformation wasn't limited to the physical. A profound shift occurred within their souls. The doubts, the fears, the lingering shadows of the apocalypse, all vanished, replaced by an unshakable faith and an overwhelming sense of belonging. They felt connected to something infinitely larger than themselves, a cosmic tapestry of love and grace, woven by the hand of God. The burdens they had carried for so long, the weight of the world's suffering, the responsibility for the survival of their fellowship, lifted, leaving them feeling light, free, and unburdened. As their bodies underwent this incredible change, their spirits soared, reaching out towards a celestial symphony. The air resonated with a chorus of angelic voices, a music so sublime, so profoundly beautiful, that it brought tears to their eyes, tears not of sorrow but of pure, unadulterated joy. The sounds were beyond human comprehension, a language of the soul, communicating a truth that transcended words. It was a welcome, a recognition, an affirmation of their worthiness, a testament to their unwavering devotion. They were being welcomed home. The ground beneath them dissolved, replaced by a landscape of unimaginable beauty. Rolling hills of emerald green stretched as far as the eye could see, bathed in the gentle radiance of a celestial sun. Crystal rivers flowed through valleys of vibrant flowers, each blossom a masterpiece of divine artistry. Trees with leaves of shimmering gold and silver reached towards the heavens, their branches laden with fruit that pulsed with an inner light. The air was alive with the sounds of nature, a gentle breeze carrying the scent of blooming jasmine and unknown, heavenly flowers. It was a paradise beyond their wildest dreams, a perfect reflection of the peace and love that resided within their hearts. Each member of the covenant felt a deep sense of understanding as they saw the others transformed. Their shared struggles, their mutual sacrifices, had forged a bond that even death could not break. The apocalypse had tested their faith, but it had also purified it, strengthening their commitment to one another and to God. They had found something truly precious amongst the ruins, a family formed in the crucible of unimaginable hardship. They walked hand in hand, their transformed bodies feeling weightless, as if floating on clouds. The joy they felt was almost unbearable, an overwhelming sensation that threatened to consume them. But it was a joyous pain, a sublime agony that filled them with a sense of completeness, a knowing that they had finally arrived at their destined place. Sarah looked up and saw a figure emerging from the radiant light, a figure of such unimaginable glory that it brought her to her knees. It was Jesus, his presence radiating an aura of divine power and boundless compassion. He was not the austere figure of religious paintings, but a beacon of light and love, his eyes reflecting the compassion he held for all creation. He smiled at them, a smile that held the warmth of 1,000 suns, a smile that dispelled all fear and doubt. He spoke, his voice a gentle whisper that resonated deep within their souls. "Welcome home, my children," he said, his words echoing the sentiment that had been building in their hearts since the moment of their transformation. "Your journey has been long and arduous, but you have persevered, and your faith has been rewarded. You have seen the darkness of this world, and you have emerged victorious, stronger and more resolute than ever before. You have shown the world the power of grace and the unwavering strength of faith." His words were a balm to their souls, healing the wounds of the past and affirming their future. Tears flowed freely now, tears of pure gratitude and overwhelming joy. They had witnessed the devastation of the apocalypse, experienced the depths of human despair, and yet, they had found their way back to the light, back to the warmth of God's embrace. They were home, not just in a physical sense, but in a spiritual sense, united in faith, love, and the unshakable belief in a future filled with God's grace. The other members of the covenant knelt beside Sarah, their hearts united in adoration and gratitude. John, whose limp had vanished, reached out and placed a hand on Martha's shoulder, a gesture of profound understanding and compassion. They had been through hell together, and now, they stood together in the glory of heaven. As they gazed upon Jesus, they saw reflections of themselves, not as they were before, but as they were meant to be, pure, whole, and perfectly united with God. They had been cleansed, refined, and reborn. The apocalypse had taken much, but in its wake, it had revealed something far greater: the boundless love of God and the enduring power of faith. The experience was beyond words, a moment frozen in eternity, a testament to the transformative power of grace. It was a homecoming, a reunion, a celebration of a victory won not through might or power, but through faith, unwavering in the face of overwhelming odds. Their ascension was not just a physical event. It was a spiritual rebirth, a resurrection of the soul, a transformation that had completely redefined their existence. They had not merely survived. They had triumphed. They had found redemption in the very heart of the divine. They had arrived at the place of ultimate peace and eternal joy. And as they basked in the radiant presence of the Lord, they knew that their journey was far from over. Their new mission, their divine purpose, was just beginning. A new chapter in their lives had opened, a chapter filled with boundless potential, guided by the unwavering love of God, their unwavering faith, and the bonds of brotherhood and sisterhood forged in the fires of the apocalypse. They were home, but their work was far from finished. The promise of a new beginning was not just a hope, it was a reality, and they were ready. Leaving behind. The blinding light faded, leaving behind not darkness, but a shimmering, ethereal landscape. It wasn't the earth they knew, ravaged by fire and war, but a place of unimaginable beauty, a realm where peace reigned supreme. The air hummed with an energy that vibrated through them, a symphony of joy and hope that filled their very being. They stood, a small band of survivors, transformed, their earthly bodies shed like worn-out garments, replaced by vessels of light and grace. They were no longer bound by the limitations of flesh and blood. They were beings of pure spirit, radiant and eternal. Sarah, her heart overflowing with a love she couldn't comprehend, looked back at what had once been their world. A swirling nebula of color and light occupied the space where the earth had been, a breathtaking tapestry woven from the remnants of destruction and the promise of rebirth. It was a bittersweet farewell, a poignant goodbye to a world that had held both immense sorrow and unexpected joy. The faces of those they had lost, friends, family, loved ones, flashed before her eyes, faces etched with pain and suffering. But as she gazed upon the celestial canvas, she felt a profound sense of peace. Their suffering was not in vain. Their sacrifices had paved the way for this new dawn, this new beginning. John, his gaze fixed on the fading image of Earth, felt a pang of sorrow. He had witnessed unimaginable horrors, battles that had tested his faith to its limits. He had lost so much, yet he gained so much more. He had found an unwavering faith in God's plan, even amidst the chaos and despair. He had learned the true meaning of forgiveness, even towards those who had inflicted so much pain. The strength he had found, in both his faith and the bonds of brotherhood and sisterhood within the covenant, had sustained him through the darkest of times. This strength now gave him the clarity and purpose to face this next stage of his journey with courageous hope. One by one, the members of the covenant turned their gaze from the earth, their focus shifting towards the boundless expanse of this new reality. The weight of their past experiences did not burden them. Instead, it had forged within them an unshakable resolve. The profound lessons learned during their earthly pilgrimage had become the foundation of their newly defined purpose. This was not simply an escape from suffering. It was a transition into a realm of untold possibilities, an opportunity to fulfill their divine purpose. As they moved forward, they felt an unseen force guiding their steps, a gentle hand leading them towards their unknown destiny. There was no fear, only anticipation. The fear that had once gripped them, that had haunted their days and nights, had dissolved like morning mist. Faith had become their anchor, their compass and their shield. Their faith had strengthened, transforming from a flickering flame into a blazing fire, burning brightly within their hearts. The landscape transformed constantly as they journeyed. Mountains of light rose and fell, valleys of pure energy stretched before them, and rivers of shimmering starlight flowed endlessly. It was a world beyond human comprehension, a breathtaking display of God's boundless creativity. But it was more than just a beautiful setting. It was a reflection of their own transformed hearts. The beauty they witnessed was a reflection of the inner peace they had attained through their trials and tribulations, through their unwavering faith and unrelenting hope. Their journey wasn't a solitary one. They were accompanied by a sense of unwavering divine presence, a feeling of being watched over, guided, and loved. It wasn't a physical presence, but a profound awareness of God's enduring love. This constant feeling of companionship filled them with hope and confidence in the unknown. Their steps were guided by an inner knowingness, a conviction that led them toward their ordained purpose. As they traveled, they encountered others who had made the ascension, souls who had also survived the earthly trials. These were not strangers, but fellow travelers, brothers and sisters in faith, united by a shared experience, bonded by their journey through the apocalypse. They shared stories of their struggles, their triumphs, their moments of doubt and despair, and the unwavering faith that had carried them through. The stories reinforced their faith, reaffirmed their purpose, and strengthened their bond, establishing a community of faith in this new realm. They learned that this new realm was not merely a destination but a starting point, a launching pad for a new mission. The challenges they had overcome on Earth had prepared them for the tasks that lay ahead. The resilience they had developed, the wisdom they had gained, and the faith that had sustained them would guide them in the coming endeavors. Their journey on Earth was over, but their real work had only just begun. The memory of their time on Earth, though filled with pain, hardship, and loss, remained an integral part of who they had become. They remembered the faces of those they had lost, the sacrifices that had been made, the battles they had fought. These memories were not sources of bitterness or regret, but served as reminders of the depth of their faith, the strength of their resilience, and the steadfastness of their hope. This new reality wasn't a forgetting, but a transformation. They had left behind the ashes of the old world, but they carried with them the lessons, the love, and the hope that had sustained them. Their new mission, as it gradually revealed itself, involved spreading the message of hope and redemption throughout the cosmos. They were to be ambassadors of God's love, sharing the message of salvation with other beings, and helping to guide those who had also found themselves in this new reality. It was a daunting task, a monumental undertaking, but they felt empowered by the love of God, the strength of their unity, and the unwavering faith that had defined their journey. They understood that their ascension was not an ending, but a new beginning. It was a transition from one chapter of their lives to another, from a world of suffering to a realm of boundless potential and eternal hope. Their journey was far from over. It had only just begun. The new mission that awaited them was a call to service, a chance to use the lessons learned from their earthly trials to guide others, to offer comfort, and to inspire hope to those traveling a similar path. The memories of their time on Earth, etched deep within their souls, would forever serve as reminders of their faith, their strength, and their unwavering devotion. Leaving behind the devastated world was a bittersweet farewell, but it was also a step into a future filled with boundless potential and eternal joy. They carried with them the lessons learned, the bonds forged, and the hope that had sustained them through the darkest of hours. Their new journey was a call to action, a chance to fulfill their divine purpose, to spread God's love throughout the cosmos, and to share the message of redemption with all who would hear it. Their faith, now stronger than ever, would guide them as they ventured into the unknown, confident in the presence of God and the unwavering strength of their brotherhood and sisterhood. Their ascension was not an escape, it was a transformation, and their work, far from finished, had only just begun. They were ready.